More than 25 years ago, the original Boomslang was released. It was revolutionary as the first real gaming mouse at the time. Sure, it sucked. It was a ball mouse, and in 2025, we're not 2025, and in 2026, you do not want to use a ball mouse for a number of reasons, but here, 27 years later, Razer has celebrated the 20th anniversary of the Boomslang by re-releasing a special edition of the mouse. See, celebrating the 20th anniversary is a little confusing because the mouse originally came out in 1999 and actually was discontinued in 2007 when the Death Adder started kind of eating its lunch. They re-released it around that time, so I guess that's what they're celebrating. But maybe I'm getting my details wrong, but you guys can let me know in the details below. But in the box, one of two boxes you get, we'll look at the other after, you get a genuinely very cool looking mouse. I think this whole product is a little absurd, but this mouse is undeniably pretty friggin' cool. We got transparent green, although it's a very different hue of green than the original. But we have this leatherette sort of finished elsewhere, and so it's just a very unique looking device, especially the shape. They do not make gaming mice that look like this, and maybe for good reason. Elsewhere in the box, we have our 8,000 kilohertz compatible dongle, as well as our mouse's only way of charging wirelessly. There's actually no ports, not a single one. So you need this dongle, don't lose it, although if you lose this, I think you're trying to lose it. Other than that, we have a very premium green and black 6-ish foot cable. This is about as nice as they make USB-C cables. Holy. I haven't even commented on the case itself. This is like a collector's item in itself. It's got like a leatherette exterior. It all goes together nicely. Lastly, we have our quick start guide, which includes stickers. More importantly in here, we have extra glide skates because that freaking rocks. This is a really wide glide skate. That's because the front of this mouse is so exceptionally wide, it makes sense. But seeing it separated from the mouse is just kind of weird. Oh man, I wish there was a way I could see all the components of this mouse just separated from the mouse itself. Thankfully, Razer thought of that. We have our second box, which is our, admittedly, really cool, blown up mouse with all the parts kind of separated. You can see, you know, our chassis, we got our PCB sensor, we got our wireless charging coil, our skates. I think this is a really neat addition when you're selling a super premium mouse. However, I expect that this is a significant driver in the cost of this product. Normally we save the price of what we're unboxing for the end because we don't want to scare you away. We want you to judge a product on its own merits and then decide if it's worth it based on that price. However, this is a special edition. And when I say special edition, I mean as special edition, as limited as they come. They made 1,337 of these. That's LEET, spelled in numbers for you younglings who might not know. And so this premium product package that comes to you costs LEET dollars, $1,337 as well. I appreciate the commitment to the meme, but I cannot fathom spending anywhere close to that on a mouse. I didn't spend that much on computers. This is cool because this mouse you can use, and this can be displayed on your wall. And I feel like if you're a streamer who has a cool background, this might actually be something that you're more interested in than the mouse itself. I don't know. There is a light bar up here. Let's plug it in. It's pretty nice. They include another one of these braided 6 feet cable. I actually don't know if this is the right choice because this cable I want to be invisible, so I might actually prefer just pure black, but it's really nice. And the light bar at the top is green. I think this is a good little package. I think I would have preferred if it was more spread out as if it was a mouse that was being kind of blown apart and the parts were kind of cascading out. I think it'd be a more attractive look. However, this is much easier to assemble and then get one of your pieces a little crooked. Look at the sensor mouse skate. That's a little offset. Someone off camera asked a great question. Are these components working? Could you presumably build yourself a second mouse? Maybe even sell it through to another buyer? The answer is, I don't know. I presume that that is not the case, but when you're charging over $1,300 for a mouse, I guess you can afford to include the parts for 2 working mice in there. Only Razer knows. Let's take a closer look at this mouse itself. It's got the transparent green chassis all the way around. I think that looks really good. It's a shame on the top, you can't really see electronics. You're kind of only peeking through a black plastic. So it reduces the coolness factor a little bit. On the bottom, you get a little bit of a peek through at the PCB, but it is still pretty plain looking. So bit of a bummer, but yeah, you know, it is what it is. This leather is not real leather, and as a not particularly leather savvy person can tell, so let that inform your decision. On the top, we have our 2 ginormous buttons. These might be the biggest mouse buttons in existence. We have our kind of skinny scroll wheel. Most scroll wheels these days are not quite rectangular, but they're not tapered off, whereas this old school style of mouse scroll is very tapered. And so that is not my preferred feeling, although it's totally fine in terms of clickiness and tactility. On the bottom, we have our DPI switch, our on-off switch. We have all our PTFE skates. We can see our wireless coil. I guess that's the most electronic looking thing we get to see. We can also get a look at our proof that this is a 1 of 1. Every single one of the Boomslangs has a serial number, 1 through 1337, but we have a one-off Linus Tech Tips serial number. That's pretty cool. On the sides, we have more leatherette, and then we have 2 kind of sneaky little side buttons. And you know what? I like these side buttons. These are hecka clicky, and they're in a spot where like, I can still move the mouse freely without accidentally pressing, but easily accessible where my fingers rest naturally on them. The question is this an ergonomic shape for the modern gamer? And the answer is no. This is what people in 1999 thought performance looked and felt like. We have come so far. This is fine. It's the way I want to grip it. So much of the mouse is extended out from my fingers. I feel like I would lose so much control. It's not particularly light, so I feel like it's not that good for whipping around. That being said, if you are buying this to be your actual daily driver mouse, you have a lot of money. Too much, maybe, in fact. However, it does, at least on paper, have the stuff to be your daily driver. It has the Focus Pro 45K optical sensor Gen 2. These sensor names are getting more and more nonsensical, baby. Which means it's good for 45,000 DPI, 900 IPS, as well as 85 Gs. That's way faster than you're gonna be moving your arm. And so in terms of the specs, this thing is way past overkill, as I would hope it is at that price point. And thankfully, it is actually an 8,000 hertz polling rate mouse. That drop was on purpose. You know, I'm just testing the reliability of this mouse. These switches are rated for 100 million clicks. So, you know, you gotta push the limit somehow. I can feel in the hand that it's not particularly light, but let's see what it actually weighs. 109 grams. That's not, you know, the heaviest mouse we've ever tested here, but oh boy, is that ever a lot heavier than the premium gaming mice I'm used to. The skates that are, the extra ones are actually glass skates, which is cool, but then it's also like, if you want to put the glass skates on, you have to immediately discard these perfectly fine PTFE ones. Should I swap them? I feel like it's so wasteful. Oh no, it didn't come off clean at all. Now let's do the thing I might be the worst at in the whole world, which is steady hands. Oh yeah, that's smooth, baby. I think if you are someone who used the Boomslang back in the day, this mouse shape might not be as horrendous as it is for me. You know what? I might be coming around a little bit on this thing, but there's only one way to know for sure, and that's by plugging it in after we tell you about our sponsor.
Incogni. There are groups out there whose sole purpose is to collect, organize, and sell your personal information. We in the business like to call them data brokers, and they kind of suck. But with Incogni, you can have this information removed from data brokers' treasure hoards. Just let Incogni know what you want removed, emails, addresses, phone numbers, and they'll automatically send removal requests. You can just set it and forget it. So head over to our link in the description today and get 50% off your annual plan.
One of my least favorite things in the whole entire world is installing Razer software. The way that like halfway through it's like, oh, but you want this Razer software too, right? Oh, no, you want this Razer software too? No, I don't want you. I don't want Chroma. I don't want any of it. I just want to look at the controls for my freaking mouse. Now that we've installed our software, we can appreciate that the dock it comes with has its own RGB. We can reassign our buttons. We have our main button we can't reassign. We got our scroll click, right click, scroll up, scroll down. We have our side buttons. We have our DPI button. That's it. We have our hyper shift. One thing that I haven't really mentioned is that this is a true ambidextrous mouse, which is actually pretty cool for you left-handers out there. In terms of performance, we can set our different DPI stages. I don't want anything but 800, please. We can adjust our polling rate. By default, we're at 1000 hertz, but we're gonna go to 8000 because battery does not matter in this situation. We can also have a smart polling rate switcher, which is pretty neat. So when you change to a game, it'll actually go to a higher polling rate. That's a good feature because most of the time, honestly, 250 would be fine. When the original Boomslang peaked at 200 hertz, 250's not so bad. We can adjust our brightness on our RGB or turn it off, like I will. And we got our calibration. We can enable asymmetrical cutoff, which would allow us to have a different liftoff and landing distance. In terms of shape of the mouse, it is clearly designed for the aesthetic, not for the hand. And that's fine, it's a collector's item. Let's play a game. This is a good performing mouse in one of the worst form factors I've ever experienced. It feels like I'm holding a kettlebell where the weight is like on the outside of my hand and I'm just like swinging it around. That being said, it's snappy, it's responsive. Our labs testing shows that it's a very competitive mouse, around
1.59
milliseconds of input latency, which is worlds better than the original Boomslang, although that was really good for its time, but still not gold standard sub 1 millisecond. And so it's not like your money's going to giving you the best, most responsive mouse you can get, not even from Razer's own lineup. So the buttons all feel really good. They're really clicky. They're kind of pingy sounding, which kind of makes me nostalgic for the bygone era of crappy gaming mice. These side buttons f***ing rock. These might be my new favorite side buttons on a mouse ever. Unfortunately, they're attached to a mouse that I would never, ever pick. This is clearly a product for people that are nostalgic for this monumental moment in gaming where gaming peripherals were changed forever. And if you were there in 99 or 2007, as Razer wants to pretend like the Boomslang was first released, power to you. Except that if you already missed your chance, no power to you, haha. They're all sold out, and they were sold out immediately, and they're selling for more on eBay because that's what people do. They buy things not to enjoy them, but to sell them through to people that do want to enjoy them. So while this is a cool, nostalgic product that I think they did a pretty good job on, and the extras make it a more compelling package, I don't think you're really missing out on burning $1,300 of your own money for this thing. There's way better value gaming mice out there. There's the Keychron series, there's Razer's own lineup, even like their top end stuff that's like $300. I would way rather have that Viper Signature Mini. Way better overall mousing experience. But maybe other manufacturers are gonna make mice that we were nostalgic for. There's like those Logitech ones or the Microsoft ones back in the 90s that are not good mice, but you might have fond memories of. And you know, who doesn't love indulging a little nostalgia here and there? Just like who doesn't love watching another ShortCircuit? Like the time I unboxed the Viper Mini Signature Edition. That is still a premium mouse that is beyond what my budget is, but dang, that is a better mousing experience.